911, state your emergency.
Hello and welcome back to Roy on Rescue. We had a phenomenal question come in. We actually did an episode on wheelchair CPR. However, this one was a little more specific to what do you do if the person is choking, especially in the cafeteria, and they're hard to remove from the actual wheelchair. And maybe they have scoliosis. Maybe they're a larger individual. It's not easy to get them out of the wheelchair. You cannot reach your arms all the way around the person to do the chest thrust from behind. One of the ways that we would do that, I would remove these and actually reach around the patient, kneeling like I am here, and do inward thrusts on the chest. Again, the larger the patient, the harder that's going to be. So in this episode, we're going to show you a little bit of what I was talking about in regards to being innovative and thinking of a different way to actually get that patient into a different position and be able to relieve that obstructed airway. So whenever we're getting ready to actually lean the patient back in a wheelchair, and in this first part, I'm going to do it as an individual rescuer. This individual is not that large, they're not that heavy, and I feel confident that I can do it safely, ergonomically. I won't be injured, they won't be injured, and we can help this patient. Whenever possible though, it's always a good idea to have two rescuers so that you can two-person this individual into a reclining position, or even better yet, a third person to protect their head so they don't bump it on the floor. The first thing we want to do though is remove the side armrests. Most wheelchairs have removable armrests. Make sure you're familiar with your patient's wheelchairs so that in the case of an emergency, you're ready to go. This wheelchair does not happen to have an existing seat belt. So what we're going to do is use a transfer belt as a seat belt so that the patient stays in the seat as we recline them back. Lead with the buckle, going around the patient. We're going to feed the belt through, just like we would if we were doing a transfer. And make sure that the belt is tight enough to hold the patient into the wheelchair securely, but not so tight as to cause discomfort. So we've got that taken care of. We want to make sure that we lock the brakes in place, but first you got to figure out how far do we need to be away from a wall so that we don't bump the wall. So we move the patient forward, giving ourselves enough clearance. Okay, sir, I'm going to lean you back here. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep your head up. Don't bump it on the floor. And now, as you can see, the patient is in a reclined position, and we can begin to do chest thrusts right on the sternum to relieve the obstructed airway. After we do our 30 chest compressions, we see if the object is in the airway, remove it if possible, and then continue with the chest compressions until the object is clear. This was for the one-person rescuer. Let's take a look at what it looks like with two rescuers. Now let's take a look at how we would do it if we had an assistant able to help us in the reclining of the patient. Jody, on this individual, they're choking and I can't get my arms around them. Let's go ahead. I put the seat belt on with this gate belt. They're secured in the chair. Let's go ahead and recline the patient. It looks like we have enough clearance here, and the brakes are set on my side. Good. Okay. On the count, let's reach underneath the arm, and then to the handle. 1, 2, 3. All the way down. Sir, we're going to help you. We're going to take good care of you. And now Jody is able to go into chest compressions to remove the obstructed airway.